everybody. Welcome to The Scoop. I'm Farah.
And I'm Nicole.
And today we're going to talk about our last value at Sonnenberg, equitable access. It's the one that's the most misinterpreted or not understood. So we're going to do our very best to help you out with examples and come up with real life scenarios that we have come across, and then just some general examples. So we'll get right into it. I could start with the history of where this came from. When we started back in 2020, we were trying to figure out how to talk about people getting where they need to go, where they need to go, where they need to be, right? I think that's where it was. We wanted to get people to the place that they wanted to be, and that what we realized was that looks different for everybody on how they get there. Would you say, Nicole? That's kind of what we kind of came up with.
Yeah.
So we first had started back in 2020 with equality. And our first rough draft was, I'll read it here, it's pretty short, but everyone has the same opportunities as the person next to them. So then we quickly realized that that's just not true. So, or that's not what we were trying to say. And we wanted to do a little bit, it wasn't the same. Nothing's equal. Everybody has different circumstances and different environments and different opportunities and all sorts of stuff. So then we got back together and we decided that equitable access was something that we thought hit our value better, would you say, Nicole?
hmm
Yeah. So that's what we went with. And it's still very much confused, and we still very much have um, the equal come back up. It's equal, it's equal. So the biggest one that I've heard over time is job description, job positions, jobs in general. Of I want to do this, and that job, I'll just say like something with a degree, like a senior or a BCBA or some BCA, BA, and you have to be qualified. So you have to go go to school and kind of hit these mile markers. So I would say that's a very common one that we've heard is that, that I can't afford school, so I need to, can't you just teach me or what have you. So what we have done in that scenario is we've tried to make school more affordable. We've tried to get, different ways you can go to school, different ways to pay. We've given scholarships. We've partnered with different organizations. You can go to different organizations and they have different ways to set it up so you can be successful to get there. You still have to take the test, you still have to do the work. That's what equitable access is that you still need to do those things. So you still need the degree, you still need to do the work, you still need to put in the time so you're qualified. But the way you get there would and is and does look different for many people. Would you say that's a good way of explaining it?
Yeah, that's great.
So, that's my first example. One thing that we have our dandy shirts, so I'll show you mine. Can you read it? Because I can't see it.
Yeah. When a flower doesn't bloom, you fix the environment in which it grows, not the flower.
So that is ABA too. We're constantly looking at how we shape the environment, and which of course then you see the change. So, Nicole, what does your shirt say?
Okay, so mine says be the that someone feels welcome, seen, heard, valued, loved, and supported.
So we thought that hit. I love that. I love that. We thought that was equitable access as well because that looks different for everybody. So, but human nature, human needs, typically that's what people want, right? To be heard, to be needed. We thought that that was perfect for this as well. So, do you have an example, Nicole, that you have like a real life example that you come across that would be good to share?
Yeah, I mean, I think it most of the time relates to like, well, I guess I can talk about more like caregivers and our clients. So sometimes sometimes it can get confused with the maybe same services apply to everyone. Um, and that's not necessarily the case. It's about providing access to a variety of different programs. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to adapt those to every single like student. Like we wouldn't change, like we have a life skills program, we have an adult program, we have a school readiness program. We we we've looked at those programs to give access to the greater community for individuals that need to focus in on more life skills, or they're in their adulthood, or they need to focus in on more like school readiness skills. So overall, that program is giving the access. However, it's not that every single individual will fit into that program in exactly the same way. It's
Yeah,
more about like overall like opportunity. Like, yes, do they have an opportunity to engage in that program? Yes. Does that mean that the caregivers might have to drive to that location, or arrange a different maybe like work schedule or drop off schedule for their other kids or themselves? Like, yes, that might be what it means, because everyone's life is very different, and there's different variables that either make it possible to attend our programs or not possible. um,
right.
and so that doesn't change the opportunity that the program exists. So that's been something that has like come up, like, well, they can't commute to this area. Well, that's where the program is held. And that doesn't mean that we're not giving equitable access. It means that there's opportunity, and
Yeah,
that opportunity might not fit everyone.
right.
It's the same thing like you were saying with education. So yeah, we can't change that you need a certain degree for certain positions. That can't be changed. But what opportunities can we provide to help people down that path? So it's more about removing whatever barriers maybe we can, for that person to have more access to what they need or what they desire. Um, Even like focusing on needs, it's about like maybe offering extra help, or maybe creating like an individual pathway for a person to get from A to B. So whatever that looks like, giving them possibility, not doing it for or change the overall structure of a group or organization for one individual person, because we do have to think about the whole.
Yeah. So it's kind of in some, so I'll go back to the education piece, meeting the individual kind of where they're at and helping them like here's a couple different ways you could get there. Which way do you want to pick? But you still got to get there. Like you still
Yeah.
got to, the end goal is this. Because we do owe it to our clients and everybody else to have quality therapy, and quality services and know what we're doing. So, that's really important. We do take that, that integrity piece very serious. So I think that's it too. And I know I'm gonna feel like I'm talking to my, kids, but you know, things aren't fair. So you do have to figure out ways to get around or how to get to that piece so you still have the same um so you hold integrity to what you're doing. But it can look different. Like just like when you have fast track programs that I forget what they call them, but you get them done in 18 months versus
Mhm.
2 or 3 years. Like there's different ways you can do that, and it looks different for each person, but in the end, you're getting there. So we also schedules. Our clients still need a one-on-one, and we still hold the space for block scheduling because you can't do it any other way. So we hold that space for that, and you don't have to work full time. If you can't work full time, then you can work part time, or you can work the second and third, or you can work first and second, or you can work whatever, right? So there's
Mhm.
different options, so you can hopefully get what you need, but there still are, we still have to come back to our clients and what is actually needed and what actually works and what is best outcome for that client.
Well, you want to provide opportunity
Yeah,
to everyone, which the word fair in equitable access is related directly to opportunity. So do you have a level playing field in which there's opportunity to participate, to benefit, or to affect other areas in people's lives? And when you look at each part of our organization, that is what we have. There's opportunity to get your education, there's opportunity for raises, there's opportunities for our clients to engage in a variety of programs. There's opportunity for them to get quality services that they need. There's opportunities for caregiver education and support. So there's all of these pieces, but it's about the opportunity, not like when they use the word fair, it's fair opportunity.
I
It's
like that.
not fair as in like I'm standing here and you're standing here and we're exactly the same, so it's fair.
Right. Yeah, I love that. That's a good definition. That's great. And we're going to put some visuals, or there's some visuals that will be up. And some of those are, when people are, there's a common one where there's kids looking over the fence, right? At a, let's just say a ball game. And they're all different sizes, ages, and they all can see over the fence with different things to stand on, different heights and different, and so it's fair because the opportunity is there to go get something to help you be successful, to look over the fence to see the ball game.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different scenarios like that. So those will be sprinkled in here, and you'll be seeing that. So that's good. Any other examples, Nicole, that you can think of? I mean, it's pretty, I love that really it's opportunity. And I love that about us is we're always thinking of how we can create opportunity for people. We call those pathways, quite honestly, is how you get there, is we break it down. Um, and we continue to do that, right? We continue to say, okay, so what's another opportunity that we can create that still hits what we need for the clients and for the staff and the environment in general. So anything else that you can think of that you think is worth talking about?
I mean, I would just encourage people to really look at what the word fair means, because it can easily be seen as same.
I love that.
And so just really thinking about like rather than fair and same and should be and could be, how about what if, what possibilities do we have, and what opportunities are there?
I like that simply put. Fair, like I just wrote down fair equals same and crossed it out in the middle.
Mm,
Um, because it isn't, it's not the same. So, and I think that is where it gets mixed up, is when people say that's not fair, or
mhm,
what have you. Um, because it is that, it is opportunity and how do you get there? So that looks different. Again, it looks different for everybody. What if? I love that too. What if you do this? That gets you there. You go this way instead of that way,
mhm.
right? But the end result is I get where I'm headed. I
Yeah.
can see it, and the way that we get there might look really different. It's kind of like somebody, you're needing to walk a mile, but somebody has a wheelchair. You're still getting there. You
Mhm,
have to have a wheelchair, or somebody has a broken leg. You're getting there, but you have to have crutches, or what have you. But the end result is to get from A to B. It
mhm.
just looks a little bit different for each person. So,
Yeah,
Um,
and the opportunity there is not to make that path shorter. It's to make sure there's no rocks or bumps for the wheelchair to get across.
right,
Like if you think about it in that way, it's not to change the path because sometimes you can't change the like if you're in a forest preserve and there's a path that you have to get through, you can't just cut off the path. It's already
right.
however, you can provide opportunities for someone in a wheelchair to get across. And so, how do they get to the end?
Love that. That's great. I have all these visuals in my head we could create and put.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's true. Like
yeah.
that's what it is. So I think that's really great. So hopefully that was helpful for the explanation of equitable access. And we were happy to share that and move forward with some of our visuals and definitions. And that is our final value. We've gotten through all of them. Woo! Now
Wonderful.
we'll have to look back at changing some. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, we're always thinking. So,
For me, equitable access is basically just meeting people where they are. So like for me, I'm not like I don't need too much. And I don't ask for too much. But like other people, they might need that. So like you being able to like get them that is perfect. That's what equitable access means to me.
Okay, to me, equitable access is the ability for everyone, no matter your cognitive ability or any other factors, the ability to communicate and be communicated to, the ability to have the same access to resources or anything like that that may help you in the future. So just the ability for everybody to have access to whatever is available.
well, thank you so much for joining us. And we look forward to next time. See you later. Bye.